what if you're at a play party and you had a really good time with some people, and then afterwards your test results come back and you're diagnosed positive with something?
Dun, dun, dun. This is Kathy Vartuli of theintimacydojo.com.
And this is Reed Mahalka from readaboutsex.com.
Yeah. So what do you do, Kathy?
So I try to normalize this because there's so much fear and shame around for people. Mm-hmm. So if you were at a friend's birthday party where it was just like people were having cake and talking and kissing and hugging on each other, like, oh, it's so good to see you, happy birthday, whatever. And you found out later you had strep throat, you might call them up, or pink eye. You might call them up, you might feel embarrassed, like, oh no, I don't like to hurt other people. I didn't know this. Mm-hmm. But you might say, hey, listen, I found out I have pink eye. You might just maybe wash some things, or just if you start seeing your eyes red, go see.
I don't know a lot about pink eye. I mean, I know about it, but I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah. And
now I'm just like, I'm out of my depth. I wouldn't know what to do. What is safe for pink eye?
Well, you don't want to rub your eyes and then touch somebody else's face or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not an expert, but
okay. Well, we can Google.
Yeah, but so there's a shame that people often feel ashamed. They feel bad that they've shared something. I think around sexuality, so many people feel ashamed about
there's so much shame out there.
Yeah, this is proof I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing. So I think getting informed and finding out, like, oh, here's a couple of good resources, and just telling people, like, hey, this is what happened. We used this safer sex protocol, and you may want to get tested. And here's what I have, and here's a couple of resources. Let me know if you want any information that I can provide.
Yeah. The big thing for me is, like, as you educate yourself more on STIs, and you learn how to take precautions, like, nothing's foolproof. That's why it's called safer sex, not safe sex. And the important thing about STIs is that people are getting tested, and that people are telling each other when they test positive for something, like that you're doing that on a regular basis, because the worst thing that happens is you have something and you don't go get it treated, like you don't know you have it. You can take the baby steps to do the work around demystifying STIs and making them less scary, understanding there's so much sex negativity and shame in culture, which makes it even harder. And then as you educate yourself on these things, you're like, oh, okay, there's a lot that I can do around empowering myself and taking precautions and being, more empowered and confident around sexual health. And as you do that work, which might be challenging, get a therapist, hire a sex educator or a sex coach or something like that to help you parse these things out. Then all of a sudden it becomes less scary, and then you might be the one who's done more work on these things, and you're the one, because you have more empoweredness around this, to be the one who can help all your friends and your loved ones work through their shame and their embarrassment, so that then you're the one everybody calls when they test positive, because they know that you will celebrate that they are a human being, an adult who takes adult actions around their sexual health, rather than shaming them for testing positive for gonorrhea or chlamydia.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the one all my friends call to tell first whether or not we've had sex, because I'm like, congratulations, like, good for you. You got tested. You found out you tested positive for something, and you're telling people about it, rather than the shame, the stigma, and the silence.
Yeah.
And that is part of how you help everybody be better around sexual health. And it's not easy, but it gets so much easier.
It does. It's a muscle that you build up with practice. And one of the most empowering things I ever heard about it, I heard from you. You were teaching at a Tantra festival or something, and you said, what is the most common STI? And everyone's gonorrhea, they're shouting out names, and you're like, no, it's the common cold. And I was like, oh, I've had the common cold. I didn't feel ashamed about that. Like,
how many times have you made out? Maybe you like, I haven't made out in a while, but people kiss each other and they give each other a cold.
Or you're having lunch with a friend and you sneeze, and like next week they've got a cold and they're like, damn you. it takes away a lot of the stigma for me.
And there's just less shame around that. So the big pieces: get tested regularly, do the emotional work and the research to educate yourself so that you understand why there's so much stigma and shame, and you're able to talk about it. And then practice getting tested regularly and telling the people that you slept with when you test positive for something. You also might want to tell them, like my lovers and friends will text me and be like, hey, got my test results back and I'm clear for everything. Like, we just do that as a course of habit, not because we're always trying to get in each other's pants, but because we're just practicing the thing that just makes it easier for when we do test positive for something. And we do get embarrassed because we're human. So you're just human.
Yeah. Welcome to the human race.
Congratulations. And if you test positive for something, yeah, it feels weird, but the adult thing to do is to tell the people that you've played with what happened and encourage them to go get tested.
Thanks, Reid. I appreciate you helping normalize this. And if you have questions or thoughts, please leave them below.